Song of the Windsmith, version 2, 30th of May. Where does a story start? With a biplane flying over a battlefield at dawn, with a whistling postman on a creaking bicycle delivering a telegram to a house in Eastbourne, a box of personal effects, with an engagement ring slipped onto a finger on the eve of the new century, or before that, the moment of conception, the ghost trails of ancestors, or even before that, before history, the meeting of a magician and a priestess, a curse, or even further back, to the splitting of light, the birth of shadow, to the death of worlds, the beginning of the universe, the first fracturing of harmony and discord. Now I see it all, time compacted, occupying the same space, all contained within me, within this moment, the shining roads stretching into the past, present and future, intersecting alignments of lives, of desires and destinies. The winds of the worlds blow. Who can say where they start? Who can disentangle their invisible threads? Who can sing their song? I can. I am a windsmith, and this is my song. Let me choose a point in time. A place. A person about to discover there is more to life than meets the eye. Let me show you the year it all changed. It's the dawn of August the 23rd, 1914. I'm in the passenger seat of a BE-2 biplane, flying towards the opening battle of the First World War, the Battle of Mons. I'm Isambard Kern, lately of Eastbourne, once a surveyor for the GWR, God's Wonderful Railway, but now an officer of the Royal Flying Corps. I'm wondering how on earth I've ended up here. I'm in my early 40s and didn't need to enlist, but felt obliged to do my bits. My brother was a Boer War veteran after all, as he's keen to remind me. We were all swept along by the juggernaut of war back then. Once it starts, it's almost impossible to stop, like this biplane, piloted by Harry Mad Duck Mallard, all gung-ho and goggles. He loves all this. He can't wait for the whole bloody shooting match to begin. Well, it has begun. The first cannon cracks the dawn, and peace is broken. Down below, the British Expeditionary Force is hopelessly outgunned by Kluck's army. We're here to drive them back over the Franco-Belgian border. The Battle of Frontiers, they're calling it. We're crossing a threshold, one I fear of no return. Mad Duck guns the engine and takes us in. We're only meant to be doing a spot of reconnaissance. Take a few photographs, they said. Easier said than done when it requires sticking your head over the side and gripping the camera for dear life. Bullets whiz and ping around us. A line of them punch the fabric of the wing, punctuating the roundel. All is vibration and wind, the wind howling like a banshee around us. Then suddenly it's before us, a cloud of fire, changing shape. An angel, a knight, archers, startled cries carried from below. They've seen it too. Both sides, Tommy and the Hun. Mad Doug shouts, "Cry God for Harry! England and St. The words stick in his throat as a bullet tears into it. He flails at his neck, loses control of the plane, which pitches and yaws. The G-forces bug me nearly out of my seat. We have no parachutes to stop us bailing out. I'm in this ride till the end. It looks like I'm done for, but the biplane flies straight into the cloud of fire, and all is bright darkness, all is shadow." That wind, it scoured the very fibre of my being. It seemed to come from the dawn of the universe, chilled with the ice before existence. My consciousness was engulfed by shadow as I was swallowed by a night black void. It was as if I had ceased to exist. The sensation was almost comforting, and that feeling alone reassured me at least I was still alive. But I was nowhere. In a limbo, without form, without foothold. Was this to be my fate? An eternity of nothingness, a ceaseless oblivion. I tried to shout, but the void sucked up my cries. Any movement seemed only to reinforce my inertia. I struggled against the prison with no walls, cursing my captor, if indeed there was one. I dared not entertain the notion that no one knew I was there, that the universe was indifferent to my fate. Suddenly, there was a hideous shrieking, and fiery demons emerged from the ether, ripping the shadows with their flickering limbs, screaming about me insanely, threatening to tear me apart with their talons and fangs of infernal fire. Only the last glimmers of love saved me, my wife's talisman, my darling Maud. The thought of her sustained me in my hell. The ring, smooth and solid on my finger, seemed to protect me. I found myself in a deathly cold cell without doors. I beat upon its crystal walls to no avail. The silence, the darkness, was terrible. Time stretched around me like a vast ocean in which all of history was contained. I saw the patterns in my life like alignments between the stars, constellations of significance, seemingly random episodes, but seen with the perspective of hindsight, meaningful. After what seemed an eternity, I began to see flickers of light, geometric shapes forming on my retina. Before me I saw a swirling window of sigils, 5 concentric circles like the rings of a tree, flickering with the letters of flame. I plunged once more through the vortex, falling down the cosmic axis, my skull blazing with these sigils. I burned like cattle brands. Screaming, I fell into a world of jagged shadows and ice, and awoke. I was not in a world I knew. I arrived like a newborn babe in a strange world. I found myself in a mountainous area, the Pyrenees, the Alps, or further east, pine forest stretched in every direction. I was lost. Where the hell or heaven was I? These were not the South Downs of home. Weak from my ordeal in the void, I stumbled down the perilous path which snaked along the edge of the ravine. I needed a guide. Then one appeared, in an unlikely guise. An arrow of feathers darted into sight. A small bird of prey, a merlin. He landed on a branch, fixed me with his fierce eyes, and began to speak.
I must be waking up again. I must be waking up again. I've been the lonely man, bury hammers in the sand of you, lose links down to the soil. Is the pain of paranoia? Can love be faster tonight? Now love is not a dream. Here now love is not a dream. There's no need to be afraid. Can love be faster tonight? Can love be faster tonight? son you altered me, I still may be delivered. As the rain God and save our soul, a mind's free on the rivers. Oh, once a lover that read the needle, far too small to fall. We are going with the form who sees us being needed all. Can love be faster than light? Can love be faster than light? Oh, bend your raiment to fair to please us, prepare you for the fight. Well, we impartial from the start, see the natural right. Can love be faster than light? A ray of hope, a flicker of the eye.
I asked Merlin why he was trapped in this bird form, this esplumoir, this molting cage, and reaching into my mind, this is what the feather magician showed me. Like ivied oak, clinging, sapping, the temptress overcame Merlin. Yet the druid did not resist. He had wearied of man's folly and pettiness. His stratagem was implemented. The pieces of the game were all in place. Wood, water, and air. So he caved into her lips and eyes and hair. By subtle voice and supple caress, he succumbed to the wiles of an enchantress. Or was that how this legerdemain seemed to us? What cruel love took place in that grove? Only the owl knows, only the owl knows. What ancient ritual was enacted in spellbound Broceliand, where magician was enchanted? She stole the gramarye from the tip of his tongue, trapped him with his own cantrips, perhaps. As water flowed the words of power, she bathed in his spring, drank his magic dry, leaving him wizened, with wish-thin bones and feathered hair, an old man doing bird. Fool, she howled a hollow victory. Now the temptress held the keys to his mysteries. But with them came responsibility. The kingdom was in her keeping. Whilst the warlock was released from mortal wheel, he soared through the branches of the land, while the sorceress was tied to table round, bound by his deceptions and schemes. Keen-eyed sentinel, guiding from afar, guardian of Britain, Merlin's enclosure, watched over from his lonely esplimoire. Stripped of his power, he plotted and waited for a Windsmith from another world to release him with his song. The name of his jailer haunting him in the night. Aveldra, Aveldra. And so, guided by the winged warlock, I began my quest to master the four winds. By doing so, I would master my fate, and not only free Merlin from his feathered cage, but also burst my own fetters, open the angel gate that would take me back home to England by following the way of the Windsmith. Guided and goaded by Merlin, I travelled the four corners of this shadow world. Hyper-Eurus, the land beyond the east wind, the icy fastness of the endless steppes. Hyper-Zephyrus, the land beyond the west wind, where lost islands can be found in the western sea. Hyper-Notus, the land beyond the south wind, the burning sands of the nameless desert. And Hyperborea, the land beyond the north, a land of mist and moor, fen and forest. Through ice and ocean, desert and mountain, through war and adversity, facing the horrors of this world and the next. But nothing could prepare me for the deadliest of this species, Aveldra, the whirlwind. She who had ensorcelled Merlin, she was to prove my deadliest enemy. Drive me out of my mind. She's a whirlwind. You're running out of time. She'll snatch you up. She'll spit you out. She'll take no prisoners. There's nowhere else. She's a whirlwind. The winking eye tempest. She's a whirlwind. Female is the deadliest. Wild, wild sorceress. Wild, wild sorceress. With a kiss, she'll steal your spells. Demon seductress. Demon seductress. For you know it won't end well. She's a whirlwind. Drive me out of my mind. She's a whirlwind. You're running out of time. I'm burning up. She blows on your flames. I'm burning up. She's gonna snuff you out. Snuff you out. witch of Eldra is not alone. Her minions are everywhere. The agents of discord, spreading chaos, working through men, corrupting their hearts. Can you not glimpse their long skulls, grinning beneath the skin? Your friends and allies, your kith and kin. No one is safe from their baleful influence. They have been the worm in the heart of humanity since the dawn of time. The serpent in the garden, the maggot in the apple. My quest seemed hopeless. Was I grasping at the wind? How can I hope to become a windsmith? Me, Isambard Kern, an Edwardian antiquarian, a man alive in the land of the dead, an aviator without a biplane. I was emperor of nothing. I am nothing. 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 Am I everything? I am nothing. Am I everything? I am nothing. Everything is nothing. Nothing is everything.
Got a debt with incongruity. Is there a devil stood at every door? What do you do when you're in the heights? Fate shows you a meeting you can't ignore. What do you do when you're in the heights and you can't believe down? Well, what do you do? Now what do you do? she's laid right across your body, and you feel it, no desire, while it fade, show no exit from this world, half removed from mine. Darkness, see visions of time. Visions of time. Visions of time. Visions of time. Visions of time.
Adrift at sea like the ancient mariner, I languished with the white shadow of my guilt hanging albatross-like round my neck. My presence in these afterlands was anomalous. Someone had to pay the price. Then, a miracle. The winds of fortune changed, for once in my favour. I was saved from the doldrums by Berinthus, a master mariner who knew the secret of the sea and the stars. He guided me to a lost island at the crossroads of time, Ashalante, far into the west. Here, where all the castaway dreams of humanity seemed to have been washed up, I found hope in the form of one of the lost of history, Amelia Earhart, 30s aviatrix, record-breaking pilot, pushing the boundaries of her sex and her time. A new world gal from another age, she blew me off my feet. I didn't stand a chance. As she taught me the secrets of wind singing, flying by the power of sound alone, I fell in love with her. Yet she was a priestess of the spiral, and this was forbidden. Despite the taboo, we found ourselves inexorably pulled together. It was a tide we could not resist. Together we soared to new heights. My angel unlocked my song. Love is a mountain of faith. It is my pillar to heaven, my immovable temple. I take sanctuary in it. It nourishes me. Your love gives me the strength to live my truth. Armed with your belief, I can accomplish anything. Your love is my ocean wind, my guiding star. It is a proud ship. It is waves breaking. Your love fills my sails, lifts my flags. It is the air that feeds my candle flame. It is the light, and it is the darkness, the night that soothes a nest of dreams. Your love is being embraced by your eyes, being seen by your lips, tasted by your hands. Your love is a feast, a dinner prepared with tenderness, a blessed transformation. Your love is an act of grace, a redemption, a release. It is a prayer and an offering, a flower that will never wilt. Your love is a soft rain. It is a song sung in silence. I am listening to it now, the endless syllable between the words. I float upon it in my sleep. Waking, I wear it like a cloak, an invisible cloak, and walk with it protected, an angel at my shoulder, taking me home. Yet what comes up must come down. And our forbidden love exacted a terrible price. We destroyed a paradise with a kiss. It came crashing down around us. In the ruins of a lost island, we held each other. We fled across Shadow World, pursued by the consequences of our deed, haunted by shadows. We walked the burning path, tested to our limits, and survived. From the ashes of our hope, we snatched the secret names of the wind. One by one they fell into place. The cardinal winds were mine to call upon. I had the key to their mystery all along. The sigils glimpsed in the void. Their sounds were the key notes of the universe, the primal chords. I had mastered them, or they had mastered me. I was a Windsmith. Like Merlin, I commanded the winds.
testimony. Don't go over down to board, but start singing. The air is filled with sounds. I am the Windsmith. I summon the air. I am the Windsmith. This is my paradise. Nothing is that Boreals. Zephyrus and Boreals. Who doesn't notice? Zephyrus and Boreals.
Armed with my grammari, I joined my comrades for the reckoning, the final battle for the fate of Shadow World. The forces of harmony, led by Merlin, fought against the agents of discord, led by his nemesis of Eldra. Heroes and villains from all periods of history gathered for this final battle. In the wastelands of a wounded kingdom, the lost of history clashed, and the worlds reverberated with the sound of the wind harps of war. with my cunning art. I released Merlin from his molting cage. Emaciated, he stood before me, a frail old man, filled with ire and awesome power. And the tide of battle was turned. The war of Shadowworld is over. We have won. But at what cost? All I have loved here has been lost. I feel alone. So alone. And long to see my beloved England once more. As I open the angel gate with my grammar eye, the four winds swirling together to create the portal of my crossing, I feel the heart-wrenching pull of what my Welsh mother would call hiraeth. Hiraeth, a deep longing, a longing for the earth. Hiraeth, earth.
Come to the mothership. I said, come to the mothership. I said, come to the mothership. I said, come to the mothership. I'll meet you at the ledge. I say you're right, 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 you're wrong. And I say choose your time. Same to me. Can time really find us reaching out for the same to me? And I said, come to the mothership. 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 Your come to the mothership. I said, come.
Weak from battle, I wield a staff to support me as I step through the angel gate, returning to my beloved England, no longer simply Isambard, Kern, observer, Royal Flying Corps, though what things I have seen, but as a Windsmith. Ahead, I see the South Downs of Sussex. The ancient figure of the long man of Wilmington opens like a gate. The hollow hills close behind me, and I am home. The shadows fade. The clean sunlight dazzles me at first. The soft breeze on my grizzled face, my rags fluttering in the wind. I weep and kiss the earth. I lay down on the green sward, let the weariness of the road bleed from me, look up into the blue, blue sky, and hear my ancestors calling me, voices from deep within the land. I go to join them.